I was the child of COVID businesses. You know,
Oh, wow.
I was almost at a stage where I was working full time as an actor, so either through acting work or doing voiceover gigs,
Mhm.
and just COVID shut a lot of us down, including the entertainment
Of
industry.
course.
So
Yeah.
I had to think about doing something different, and there was also a part of me that was living this actor lifestyle and sort of living off paycheck to paycheck. And I just went, you know what? I can't live like this forever.
Mm.
And it wasn't until a business coach said to me, look, Jack, everyone's been thrust onto Zoom. No one knows what the hell they're doing. People still need to run meetings and presentations, and speakers were losing lots of in-person gigs, but maybe picking them up on camera. No one knows what they're doing. So you could
Yeah.
teach that. And I was like, no, 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 I don't want to give this up, this identity of being an actor that I've worked so hard for. But lo and behold, I saw the reasonings for it. And yeah, it's just been this beautiful work in progress ever since.
Oh, I love it. How did you find that transition? So moving from actor, voiceover gigs, it's almost like a freelance model, I kind of assume, where, you're taking on like gigs essentially.
Yep.
How did you transition from that to essentially being, I guess, in control of your destiny and being a business owner?
I'll be honest, I didn't do it well.
No,
So
don't worry,
even
none of
as
us
an
do.
actor, it's yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just preface it. It wasn't well. It's not seamless. It still is. It's I'm still figuring out the kinks and the bits and pieces that I don't do well. But yes, acting is a freelance gig. However, I had an agent. And so she
Mm,
would find work for me, and I'd go through the audition process. And if I got it, great. And if I didn't, I didn't.
yeah.
But, finances were always taken care of. Like there was a huge part of me being in the business of being an actor that was taken care of for me.
Mm,
And as you know, with building a business, I had no idea how to run a business. I knew how to do what I did really, really, really well. I had no idea how to market myself. I had no idea which rooms I needed to put myself in. God behold, doing finances and doing all that side of the thing. Like I'm a creative being through and through. Don't put spreadsheets in front of me. Don't do back end systems and automations. It's just so foreign to me. And I've really had to learn either the hard way, or I've had to put in more work so I can pay for someone else to do that for me, because
mm.
it's just not my zone of genius. And luckily I recognized that early, but it's definitely been a learning process with starting a business.
And I guess, circling back to becoming a better public speaker or becoming a better communicator or, whatever that looks like, it is that process of almost starting from the beginning, starting as an amateur and accepting that, okay, I'm not an expert. I don't know everything. There's growth to be had and going on that journey of becoming better. I mean, where do you start with people? So if somebody does come to you and they say, oh my gosh, I know that if I could just show up and communicate, people would love me, they would resonate with me, they would buy more of my things. Where do you get started with people?
Where I would get started is sort of touching on what we've shared earlier, and it's knowing who you are and what your story is first.
Yeah.
When people say I can talk about everything, I can't brand you as a speaker when I hear those words, right? And
Mm,
if I can't brand you as a speaker, as your speaking coach, it's going to be really, really hard for you to pitch yourself for speaking opportunities. And people go, oh, yeah, of course, Jacqui can speak on this, this, and this. But then if someone goes, oh, but I've heard her speak on this. And then someone says, oh, I've heard her speak on finances. And then suddenly my brand gets very, very muddied and no one knows
mm,
me for some core ideas. And so in business, we talk about niching. And with speaking, it is somewhat similar, right? I need to know that if I'm looking for a speaker in the medical field and I need to speak about breast cancer, I'm not going to go and find a person who speaks about everything. I'm going to go
yeah.
find the expert who solely deals with breast cancer, because I know they know that topic inside out, not little bits of everything. And so knowing how you want to service the world and what stories you have of your own that deeply connect with these themes and these topics is only going to make you a more prolific speaker. So we really do need to do the work at the beginning and figure out what those things are. And then it's mapping out what your story is. And people go, oh, I don't want to sound so scripted, or, you know, I can just talk off the cuff. And that just, it's alarm bells for me, because that's when we kind of get into this zone of someone's just talking in circles, and they're just, the next thought that pops in their mind is what they speak. And you're sitting in the audience just going, I don't know where we're at.
Where are we?
Right
What is
now.
this
And
about? Yeah.
they go over time, and yeah, it's just, it's icky. We know, we can see it now. Audiences these days are so switched on to what's going on upstage, on stage. And we need to be very, very mindful of that. But I think the other thing that I want to work on with people is that when you become a speaker, you should not get into speaking for you. You should get into speaking to serve your audience. Because when times get hard and you get rejected, we can make it all about us. Woe is me, I'm not getting gigs, not whatever. If we flip that into a more positive, what possibilities are out there? Like I'm still going to show up every single day because I have an audience to serve. It just makes it so much easier. And then it also just helps with these nerves, because every time I go, oh, I'm nervous, or I'm sweating, or my heart's palpitating, or all of those sorts of things that start physically happening to you before you get on stage, if we can flip that on its head and just go, that's all I'm nervous, I'm this, I'm that. What about, I need to go on stage because my audience is waiting for me. My audience needs to hear this today, because I know, because I've done my research, I've done all my work, that they're struggling with this. And even if I can reach 5 out of 100 people, I've done my job. But none of that's going to happen if I keep internalizing it and making it all about me. So yeah, I'm just making sure that people are getting into it for the right reasons, and not for the ego. I'm a TED speaker, I've just spoken here. And then, yeah, they're just really talking at people rather than to them and with them. So yeah, there's a lot of groundwork that needs to happen before I even get you on stage.